Bang, bang. It's Monday night. You already know it's Southern Fried Sports night. Yo, it's time to get weird. It's time to get fun. My man, Rowdy Rooster. Y'all know him. He ready. We ready. We got tons of great topics we're going to talk about this evening. Man, y'all buckle up. First of all, let me give a shout out to greenvillesportsmedia.com. Also, let me give a shout out to the sponsors. I didn't know this till the other day. I was just a part of Greenville Sports Media, but all of their sponsors are my sponsors. Who knew? I had no idea. I was so baffled. I had Jay Jacobs, Clemson football, Furman basketball. Man, the dude covers literally everything, as we all do at greenvillesportsmedia.com. We got Gamecock Chuck. We got Brian. We got Rowdy Rooster coming up. So let me give you a rundown real quick, y'all. Oh, my goodness. Should the Clemson Tigers be worried about a Clemson wide receiver transferring to Arizona State if they happen to beat Texas this week? We've got some tidbits about that coming up. We have a few things that I learned from the NFL yesterday, and I hate fantasy football. Rowdy Rooster. Go have fun with a rooster. I don't like you anymore. You and your 170-point weeks. We've got some crazy stats coming up. Josh Allen just did what the other day? But then he did this to another quarterback yesterday. Man, I've got tons of things I've learned about the NFL. I've got tons of things about Clemson football. But let me give a shout out to these sponsors, Arden's Burger and Grill. Y'all, check them out. They got a great Wednesday special. Jay Jacobs mentioned it the other day. 10 wings, fries, and a drink, $10.99. Rowdy Rooster, I think he just perked up a little bit when I said that over here. He perked up when I said 10 wings, fries, and a drink for $10.99, man. I'm telling you, you can't beat that deal. Also, you've got Hyundai of Anderson. Hey, Pepsi Cola. Has anyone ever drank a Pepsi before? I have. They also sponsor greenvillesportsmedia.com. So, with all of that said, and with all of those shout outs done, my man Rowdy Rooster, he over here. He chilling.
What's up?
What's up, big dog, man? You doing all right, brother? Good to see your face.
I'm doing good, man, considering they moved us to 12-hour shifts.
Hey, that, man, 12 hours, bro, 10's hard. 8, hey, I'll be honest with you. Doing 45 minutes of a podcast is hard. If you don't believe me, try it. No, I'm just kidding. It's relatively easy if you know what you're talking about. Which, like I said, we have tons of great topics coming up. And so let's lead it off with this one. Rowdy, thank you for being here. You are the man.
Thank
We've
you for
got
having me.
Gamecock Chuck. We got Brian. We got Mark. Of course. Hey, I know Poppy watching. You know, Poppy, he stay watching. I had a topic the other week where I talked about there's some women that I can't stand to listen to, but
Same.
so what happened is some women caught some flack, and they were like, man, I can't stand listening to all these women talk about football. And I said, well, hold up, time out. I said, there's plenty of men that I don't want to listen to talk about football. I mean, I won't call no names, but there's tons of, I will call names. Sam Acho, for one. Tom Brady, he's been garbage in the booth. Chris
Dang.
Collinsworth. I mean, how is it that Tony Romo is better in the booth than Tom Brady?
I can't stand his voice. He sounds like he needs to cough.
Who?
Romo.
Really? But see, my thing is his analysts, like his analysis. Like he literally, his first year, he was calling the plays before they happened. Tom Brady, I don't know if he's just more of a Las Vegas Raiders owner, but I feel like he's so generic, man. Come on, I
Yes,
know there's some Tom Brady commenters, Brian, Mark, Chuck, all of you guys. Is Tom Brady garbage at being a broadcaster?
I like Tom. I like Tom a little bit, but he doesn't get too high. He doesn't get too low. He doesn't show any enthusiasm. He's kind of monotone in a way. But Acho, I'm with you on Acho. Man, he's like handoff to the running back. Duh, we've just seen it.
The only time that I've ever been impressed with Sam Acho was the Clemson Carolina game a few weeks ago, which will
Hey,
lead
he
us.
wasn't bad.
Yeah, no, he was good. And well, how about the Clemson graduate that was his partner, Luganville, if I'm not mistaken? Somebody again, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it was Sam Acho and it was definitely a Clemson graduate. I don't remember his name per se. But that leads me into this next segment here. We're going to talk about some Clemson football. So, Rowdy, I don't know. Let me start with this one. Rowdy Rooster. Does it worry you that Texas has not sold out their stadium yet for this very first ever home football playoff game? Did they spend too much money on Lamborghinis?
I think that I think that people see that they're not as good as they think they are. That's how I feel about it. They they do spend a lot of unnecessary money. That is 1,000% correct. But I'm not sold on Texas. I haven't been since the beginning of the year. But again, how many have they sold compared to how many has Clemson bought? You know what I'm saying? Do we know the numbers there?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. Clemson, as a matter of fact, just picked up their first transfer portal player ever.
What?
Wide receiver. Yeah, wide receiver. You want me to tell you where he's from?
Where?
Southeastern Missouri State. I can't even say that with a straight face.
Hey, he might be a baller.
Hey, well, I mean, I guess they were looking up Southeastern Conference players and somebody didn't fully type it out. You know how when you type something into the search bar, you type, Southeastern, who knows what's going to come up? They didn't finish typing conference portal players. And so, yeah, Clemson ended up with a wide receiver transfer from Southeastern Missouri State. I mean, he did have good stats. I can't hate on the
But
dude.
you know what that is, though, don't you? That's Dabo saying I'm gonna get somebody really cheap. That way I'll get off my back about not using the portal.
Well, yeah, speaking about cheap, we'll talk about that in a minute. I've got some notes on, of course, Mike Van Gundy. We all saw it a few weeks ago. But also Mike Norvell of Florida State. He also restructured his deal today. And so we'll get into that in just a moment. I've got that marked down on the notes. I want to finish up some of this Clemson stuff. So, yeah, they did get a transfer portal wide receiver. But my main question, this is what I posted out to everyone earlier. If, and I mean, just like Bill Belichick said, if I go coach at North Carolina. So if Clemson does beat Texas, does wide receiver Noble Johnson transferring to Arizona State cause a problem for Clemson? If they beat Texas, guess what their next opponent is? Arizona State. I know that teams say they change their signs week to week, day to day, whatever. But either way, regardless, Freddie Kitchens left South Carolina, and then they had 9 sacks against us when he coached for UNC. So if a coach can go have that impact on a team, I'm on it. I'm concerned if Clemson does beat Texas. I'm worried about Noble Johnson being on the team for Arizona State. I mean, he can not. I mean, they might even try to say, you know what? We know they got him. Maybe we'll just stick with the same signs, and maybe that'll work. But we've also seen Clemson not put 4 quarters of consecutive football together all year long, other than that easy, like 3-game stretch they had. App State, NC State, Wake Forest, whoever it was. So, I mean, does Noble Johnson, though, Rowdy, is that a big concern? I know he can't play, but what he can share about the Clemson program, is that a big deal?
I mean, if there's animosity there, I would say possibly, but I would be more concerned about.
Why would you transfer if you didn't have a bad feeling?
I mean, who knows? Maybe he's getting a little bit more money, but really don't know. I mean, I would be more concerned about losing a guy that is hard to see when you're Clemson. You're so far behind in the portal. If you don't have somebody next to step up, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, you got all these other teams out here that are really viable options, you know, and Clemson just, I mean, I'm not saying that they're not a school that people want to go to, because they are, but have they really been lately in the past few years? Not so much. I think they're a little bit behind the curve when it comes to portal. Well, they definitely are. They've got their first one, you know. So,
well, and
I would be
like
more concerned about that.
Yeah, their recruiting classes, though. I mean,
yeah, they've dropped
top 5, top 10, top 15. I mean,
yeah,
and now I think they were 26 this year. I don't know for sure. I don't have those stats up in front of me, but yeah, I mean, but to me though, it's just more to me about the insight that player can share with Arizona State if Texas beats Clemson, right? I mean,
I guarantee you that.
Prediction. Texas beat Clemson. What's your thoughts on that game?
Well, say that one more time.
On Texas Clemson, who advances this week?
Oh, Texas is going to beat Clemson. I just feel like they have too many weapons at quarterback. I feel like they really played really well against Georgia when it came to the line of scrimmage, and that's where that game's going to end up being won, is the line of scrimmage.
Still
I wouldn't be surprised. You know, Clemson has problems tackling running quarterbacks. I wouldn't be surprised if Arch if Arch goes in there and, you know, tears them up. So it's a possibility. I mean, Ewers can run too. People don't think he can because he hadn't done a lot this year, but I mean, he's actually a really good runner when he wants to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Well, and that was what's crazy too. A lot of people were talking about during the Texas-Georgia SEC championship game. You know, Gunner came in the second half because of injury, but Arch only had 1 snap on a QB sneak. I mean, that was really weird. But Quinn, apparently there's a viral video though too of old girl from SEC Network. She shared a video of Quinn Ewers' ankle brace. And she had to like specify. She was like, "This is not a posterior."
No, it's actually pretty dope.
Yeah,
I've seen it too.
Yeah, and so Quinn is wearing this ankle brace. There's also rumors though of him transferring after this year.
Maybe. I mean, that's a possibility. I don't think it was one of the things where they were like, "Hey, you needed." I don't think it's one of the things where he kind of really wants to. I think it's one of those things where we're going to listen to what the fans want a little bit, because they're what paying our salary. So, you know, everybody's screaming for Manning. So they're probably going to end up getting him after this year. I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't a starter next year. But
yeah, absolutely.
I'd have to go 28-24 Texas. And the 3 keys for me would be time of possession. Whoever controls time of possession, I believe, is going to win that game. Line of scrimmage, and I don't want to be cliche and say the turnover battle, but Clemson hasn't really allowed that many turnovers this year. So if Texas can get on the plus side and turnovers, that's going to help their case a lot. Texas has turned the ball over a few times, so I mean, got to take care of the rock.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, dude, I'm really torn about this game.
I mean, it's going to be a different. I wouldn't be surprised if Clemson did win. I just, in my personal opinion, looking at it on paper, if you give me my gut feeling without thinking about it, I'm going to say Texas. I'm not saying Clemson can't win because they could.
Right. And listen, I hear you. And y'all know I bleed garnet and black. Y'all know I do. I picked Texas to win, but that was only my reverse psychology. I mean, I really probably, if that were the case, I probably should have picked Clemson. And honestly, dude, man, Dabo, the fact of how they got in here anyway, to me, that reminisces of a team winning the old 6 seed in the NFL and catching that flame and riding it out. I mean, we do know that. I saw the breakdown earlier. Clemson has more 4 stars and more 3 stars. And I think they were like dead even on 5 stars. It was very close. But the overall grade on the roster went to Clemson. And so, man, I don't know.
I can see that. I mean, you got to look past. I mean, you got to look at past, say, 3 to 4 years. You got some guys playing there in their 5th year. You know, I can see that. But I think what a lot of people's not talking about is Sarkisian versus Riley. Mm-hmm. You don't hear people talking about that much, and it's going to be really interesting to see how they dial these plays.
Well, I'll tell you this. One of the plays that I know Texas lost this SEC championship game, but one of the plays they ran reminded me of the old Lane Kiffin. Him and Sarkisian, they drew him up the same way. So if you want to run a play action, it's got to look like it's an actual run. And so that was one of the plays Texas scored on. I think it might have been RPO. I hate that term.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Run, I hate RPO. But
just call it a triple option.
Yeah, that's what it looked right. Exactly. Triple option. That's what it is. But that's literally what it looked like. But you got to make the offensive line make it look like a run play. That's the trick to this thing, in my opinion. And so if you've got 2 guards pulling out and everybody else blocking like a run and you got a dude hitting a quick slant, you're going to have a window to throw this thing through. So Sarkisian, I do trust his play calling ability. Heck, I wanted Garrett Riley to be the Gamecocks offensive coordinator for a while. That's neither here nor there.
Well, I mean, I think kind of almost every Gamecock was wanting that in a way. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and well, I'm good without him. We've already put our offensive coordinator in a head coaching position, and we got another good one coming up. So we good. We good, Gamecocks. Go Tigers.
Right.
Gamecocks.
Hey, Mark Shane Beamer's playing chess, man. Shane Beamer's playing chess. That's why he had Sheila come up anyway. I think he had a feeling.
That's why he's getting 4 and 5 years. Florida was on the up and up. They should have never fired Dan Mullen. And so, let's lead into our next topic since we just mentioned head coaches. So, Shane Beamer doing a great job for the Gamecocks. I can't wait to see this portal haul. I'm saying it should be top 10 at least. I'm hoping for top 5. We'll see how it shakes. It's
going to be strong.
And so, though, mentioning head coaches and NIL, and we're going to transition to our next topic right off of that. Segue. Should NFL executives and scouts be concerned about ridiculous NIL requests and transfers? The amount of time a player transfers. Should they be concerned about that? Because, I mean, we've even seen Mike Van Gundy and Mike Norvell Guess what? They took decreased deals to assign some money to NIL. So now all of a sudden, we're taking money out of the pockets of coaches. I can't argue that shouldn't have been done already, but now we're taking money out of the coaches' pockets and we're gearing it towards players. And when I say ridiculous NIL requests, this dude requested 10 tickets to every game for 10 family members. 10 family members to every game. He wanted free tickets for all of them. And he requested 3 new cars for his family to travel to and from said game. Talk about aiming high. I mean,
ridiculous.
this dude was ridiculous. So if you're an NFL scout, though, does any of that matter to you?
I think it's so ridiculous we have to talk about this. I do think that a player that jumps from team to team to team is definitely something that should be looked at by the NFL GMs and coaches and all. I mean, because at the end of the day, culture matters no matter what level of play you're playing.
Dirty C word alert. Dirty C, Southern Fried Sports, dirty C word. He just said culture, y'all. Keep on going, Rowdy.
It matters. It matters. I mean, you can't win a championship you can't win a championship without great culture. And I really do believe that it should be looked at. It makes sense not to. If I'm a GM and I see a guy who comes into the locker room, he does good for for a few months or whatever, and then he starts making waves, starts demanding crap. He starts throwing off the field from the locker room because he doesn't like what our coach does or says to him, and it hurts his little feelings. He's got to go. I mean, at the end of the day, they're grown men. So grow up. All right, act like you got some sense. You're not entitled to everything. You play a game for a living that we happen to love watching. You got it better than 98% of the population out there, and you want to complain because you're making millions of dollars to sit on a freaking sideline. Grow up. Let you drop your nuts. It's like as we've heard before.
Yeah,
but
we've heard that one before.
They definitely need to worry about it. I mean, I know a few coaches that wouldn't put up with that stuff. Bill Campbell would be one of them, and Mike Tomlin would be one of them. But because you're tearing up what they built. They built that culture, and they're not gonna let some rookie come in and act stupid. I mean, just look what Tomlin done to Antonio Brown, even as good as he was. He's like, hey, hit the bench, buddy. you ain't no better than anybody else.
No, and that goes back to it too. That's what kind of made me think about this conversation is, like I said, all the ridiculous NIL requests. Plus, we just saw Deontay Johnson recently traded from the Panthers. He refused to go into the game for the Ravens one game. All right. And then you had Devondre Campbell the other night. He refused to go into the game. These dudes are scared of competition.
They should never play a game. They should never play a game, and they should never strap up the helmet ever again. There's people out there.
Quit on your teammate.
I mean, there's people out there who would do anything with making a fraction of what these idiots are making. Excuse my language.
No, you get.
Would do anything to have that opportunity, and people just want to throw it away because they're damn babies. Right. It just blows my mind.
Sorry, Southern Fried Sports. Bleep, my bad. I was
sorry.
a little late on my bleep. No, you're right. No, I mean, it fires me up too. I mean, it really does. I mean, literally, you want to know one of the worst dreams that I ever have is that I'm getting ready. Dude, I'm at a football game and I'm playing for like the University of South Carolina or my Red Devils who just won state the other day. Like, I'm literally there. I'm there with the helmet on, okay? I'm going into the game. Never played a play. I have You want to know the only football that J.D. Wyatt has ever played? I used to go across the street to my church, my parents' church, or my grandparents' church. I used to go across the street. All right, we had like 50 yards there. I would literally go out there and play football by myself. And I don't care how crazy I sound to any of y'all. But like that's the closest. And so every time I'm having this dream though, and I'm like, man, I've even had a few baseball ones, really. I mean, I'm a sports guy. We're all sports guys.
What's crazy about that though is, see, I'm on the flip side of that. See, so I always wanted to play baseball, and I never got an opportunity because back in the day, you know, we were just kind of poor and we didn't have money for bats and gloves and stuff like that. Because you need a little bit more stuff for baseball than you do for basketball.
I still have my same glove from 10th grade in high school. Very first glove I ever had is right here in the room.
I wish I could have played. I wish I could have played so bad. I mean, I love baseball. I think it's a great sport and the passion of the game and strategy of the game, but I never got a chance to play it, and I wish I could have.
It is. It's fun. And, I mean, a lot of people don't realize, you know, they always want to say that everybody's kind of being still on the baseball field, which that's never the case. I mean, every player on the field has somewhere they need to be, whether it be chasing down the ball or backing up a throw or just being mind aware. So a lot of baseball is just very fundamental. Football, man, is weird. Football is weird. You've got the referees who can impact the game with targeting and personal fouls and everything else.
I think it's because baseball you're playing the ball and football you're playing the man. And I think that has a lot to do with it.
But it's called football. So I mean that's all just very confusing. So like if an alien were to come on this planet right now and we tried to explain the difference between playing two games where you chase a baseball or chase a football in one, but you're really chasing the person, and then or soccer, even the other football. Dude, that would be a wild sports conversation to have.
Well, I'll try to explain golf or NASCAR. We're making only left turns around here.
Except for these special occasions when we got to make a right turn. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. This Southern Pride Sports episode is off the rails, y'all. We got Mark. We got Brian. He says laugh out loud already. Let's see here. What's Mark got to say?
How y'all doing, by the way? Anyway,
Rowdy, shout out Mark, Brian. He's usually in here chatting with y'all, so y'all forgive him.
I saw Gamecock Chuck too. What's up, Gamecock Chuck?
Madcraft, sir. Listen to me. Listen, I'm gonna we'll hit a minute break just for you in a minute, Madcraft, and I'm gonna need you to rewind and catch what we just said. Oh my goodness, Madcraft, you came in at the perfect time. Oh my goodness, let's see here. Mark, he says, most of the time, players that constantly move from team to team are not that good anyways and will not be much in the NFL. But dude, that's what I was saying. That's one thing I was saying about that transfer portal player, to go back to that conversation, and then we're going to hit a break, and then we'll come back to you guys in a minute. But, dude, the one that I was talking about that requested tickets for 10 family members and 3 cars for his family members and a car and a driver for himself from spring training to the end of the season. So basically, this dude requested a private car and a driver for 9 months in NIL. And he said that he would sign right now for any one of the 4 deals he gave. And literally every one of them were worth $1 million. But here's the trick. I can't even remember the dude's name. So he obviously isn't that good or that valuable to be asking for this ridiculous nonsense.
Yeah, he's not important. You at some point in time, you're gonna have to realize you can't start paying. There's coaches that don't even get 2 to 4 game passes.
Well, like I just said, Gundy and Norvell have had to redo their deals to pay more money to NIL, and that was the whole thing for UNC and Bill Belichick.
Well, in all fairness, those 2 coaches, in my opinion, are on extremely hot seats. They needed to do something. Because if Norvell had a year like next year happens to be like this year, he's done.
Well,
And Gundy,
that and the fact that they paid him way too much probably to begin with, so their
yeah,
buyouts were so ridiculous high.
yeah.
Yeah, and continue on. Sorry to interrupt you there. Go ahead.
No,
Keep
that's
on.
all. That's all I was going to say.
But
I mean,
these coaches now they're being forced to take money out of their pocket, which granted, I'm not complaining about that. I think that they should have had money taken out of their pocket. But they're having to reduce their buyout so they can be fired sooner because I mean, we just saw Mike Norvell fix his roster in less than 2 years, and then for it to just
it exploded.
go up in smoke. I mean, somebody, and it wasn't me because I was only worried about the Gamecocks program, but I've said before, put your matches and your gasoline down. Somebody did not do that at Florida State. But hey, shout out DJU. He is going to the NFL draft. Big news here on Southern Fried Sports. What you think about
Lord
that?
of mercy.
Do you think he is drafted above or below Ryan Helinski, or do you think they're both going to be undrafted free agents like I do?
I don't think he's going to be drafted. I wouldn't let him throw me a birthday party. He would miss. He would miss. It'd go straight to my feet. There's no way. No,
he's the one that throws you a surprise birthday party and tells you.
To be honest with you, him and Ryan Helinski should pay one of the teams to take them. I mean, really. Yeah, nah. You got hard pass on those.
Yeah, no doubt. Madcraft. So listen, just literally before you sent your comments. So
about 4 minutes ago.
Yeah, well, probably like 5 or 6 now, maybe. Who knows? We haven't had any segments yet, but here We're gonna hit a little break. Brian Petta, he says, "Wow, that's funny, Rowdy." Dude, I'm telling you, you got me. You got me. You wouldn't let DJU throw you a birthday party. Whoa, my goodness, that is absolutely hilarious. Mark, I mean, I know transfers happen. Some are good, like Jaden Daniels and others. Joe Burrow was a transfer. Quinn Ewers transfer. But those guys.
Yeah, but he wasn't a repeat offender, you know. Like,
right? Yeah, no, but yeah,
they've got to fix it. They have got to fix the transfer thing. And here's my deal:
if you're NCAA is asleep at the wheel. The NCAA is drunker than your uncle heading home from a Christmas party.
Look, there's only one way to fix this. When you start college, say I go and I start playing for Notre Dame. Okay, don't care about Notre Dame, just throwing them out there. Say I go and I start and I sign with Notre Dame out of high school. Okay, I get one free portal movement. And I'm good, but if I hit the portal, say again, then I lose. I forfeit my NIL.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, think about it. They're not just getting NIL. I mean, they're getting a free education. They're getting free room and board. They're getting fed.
Yeah.
The team that there's got to be the NCAA. Like I said, they're drunk at the wheel on this thing. And then even though they try to do something about it, they get sued.
JD, nobody's at the wheel. Nobody's at the wheel at all.
They need a college football commissioner. I've already voted. I voted for Kelly Ford, Josh Pate, Nick Saban, heck, Pat McAfee. I don't care.
Hell, throw Brandon Pettit in there.
Yeah, I don't care. Throw Mark in here.
Yeah, let Mark go.
Yeah, let Mark go up there and do it. He says those guys that go 3 to 4 teams generally are transferring because they can't compete. I mean, dude, there's a lot of them. That's the whole thing, Mark, is that I understand there's some of them that transfer because they can't compete. I mean, that's the case with the Gamecocks. I mean, we haven't had anybody of, I don't want to say real value, but we've had some non-players enter the transfer portal. Heck, Clemson has too. I mean, we've seen teams have 20 transfer players. We saw Marshall not even be able to compete in their bowl.
Yeah, they lose 20? What they lose 26?
20, yeah, and
something like that.
But yeah, so listen, all these head coaches now, they're leaving positions of head coach to go be a coordinator. I mean,
It's less stress. It's less stress.
I
They
just
don't.
don't understand what's going on in college. I mean,
Well,
I get it. I
think
knew
about
it
it.
was going to come here, but it's just wild.
Think about it. You might lose a couple $1,000,000 a year by being a coordinator instead of head coach, depending on where you're at. Okay, but then again, you also ain't got to worry with hardly any of the stress. What do you got to do? Draw up plays, recruit, and coach a positions unit, and some of them don't even coach a positions unit.
Mm-hmm.
So it just makes sense. I wouldn't be a head coach. I'd rather be a coordinator myself. You know, you know what? Put me on the nutrition team. I'm going to be a nutritionist. You know, I want to coach the ones who need to gain weight because I can teach them how to do that. All right.
Hey, and I tell you what do you say?
Do what?
Every time when we signing off, what you say?
I'll put some gravy on it, man. Put some
Hey,
gravy on it.
there's your first tip, everybody, to Rowdy Roosters gaining some weight, man. Throw some
Yeah.
gravy on it. You're gonna gain some weight. Hey, we got the
Hey,
Mad Crafter. Yeah,
Tate,
go ahead.
I
Go
got
ahead. Go
one
ahead.
for Matt Crafter. If you're talking about the whole NIL thing,
Yep.
I believe another idea could be putting it in escrow. Okay, so say JD, I recruited you to come play at South Carolina. I say, hey, I didn't recruit you, but you came to South Carolina, and I'm a Mercedes Benz dealership. Hey, we're going to give you, this car, and we're going to give you $10,000, in NIL money, but it's contingent on you staying throughout the whole year and finishing the bowl game, etc. That's but you don't get that money. It's going to go into an escrow, and then at the end of your obligation, then you get the money. They could do it that way.
Oh no, absolutely. And see, that's kind of what I don't understand. I'm sure that whenever these NIL deals are done, surely now that they're able to happen, it's not like cash under the table deals. I mean, we see these dudes driving the cars. So yeah,
Watch what happens.
why not? Why
Hey,
not
watch
be
what.
like, you got to stay here for 3 years or you're not getting it. Period.
Watch what happens.
Why not?
I'm telling you, give it another 2 to 3 years. You're going to be seeing commercials on TV. If you've been hurt by NIL deals in the past and you did not receive what you were supposed to receive from your clients, you may be entitled to compensation. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of players getting sued, a lot of them. And some of these guys, they have no clue what they're doing. They just see the money and they're going for it. They don't have anybody with any kind of smarts backing them up on what to do. But then again, at the end of the day, if you want to be a big boy and get paid big boy bucks, you gotta live and die by your decision.
Yeah. Hey, well, yeah. Hey, as a matter of fact, while we're talking about it, congratulations, Juice Wells. You thought you were going to be the Trevor Etienne scoring the game-winning touchdown in the SEC championship, brother. Well, it wasn't you. Old Judas, old Juice.
Not even a pre-sun package.
Man, here, let's get a couple of comments in here real quick. Madcrafter, yeah, that's exactly what he said. You should get paid at the end of the job, not the beginning. Exactly what we were just talking about, Madcrafter.
Look,
you're the man.
You could real quick. You could even do this. Say I offered you $10,000 of NIL. Maybe I give you $2,500 to start. Just that way you have a little walking around money. But the majority of it's going to stay with me.
You killing me. Yeah, give you a little walking. I mean, absolutely though. How does anybody pay their car payment? I mean, normally not everybody goes up and just scrapes off $30,000 or $50,000, whatever, unless you got one of them Tesla Cybertrucks. Nobody just goes and scrapes off, normally. So, I mean, you're making these in payments. So why do they have to make these NIL deals up front, man? It's absolutely absurd. That is a great point by Madcraft and Rowdy Rooster, man. You guys are absolutely killing me this evening. Let's see. We're up to 40 minutes. We're going to get into some NFL talk. I did say I was going to hit a break a minute ago. Good gracious, we've just got the comments pouring in. Let's hit these comments real quick, Rowdy. Brian says he wants to coach wide receiver. Player needs 6'3" to 6'7". Oh yeah, he wants to coach a
That's
wide receiver.
discrimination. It's discrimination, Brian. I'm disappointed in you.
Hey, Brian's got a new intro video coming for us soon. Y'all stay tuned for that. NIL was not intended for this, says Mark. It was for the players eligible for endorsements to be able to make a little bit of money on their sales and signatures. Absolutely right. Yeah, this was built for a player to go sign autographs on helmets for, a few $100 or something. It was never supposed to be buying the best player. And like I said, the NCAA, straight drunk on fireball behind the wheel. Mad Crafter, absolutely. That's pretty much what I'm saying. It would prevent a Juice Wells situation. Man, old Juice Wells, you got 2 mentions tonight on Southern Fried Sports.
Yeah, I hope every time he blinks, he has diarrhea. That guy.
Man, that's terrible. You're awful. How long y'all on for, JD? Matt Craft, we've got about 10, 15 more minutes. We'll see what shakes. Y'all want to start a little league football team? We'd easily be powerhouses coaches. Which, speaking of, hey, I reposted this on X the other day. All right, and then we're going to hit a break. I'm going to set up to hit a break. I want to talk about Mad Craft's post. He asked the question and put up a poll on Twitter. Madcraft did. And he said, should fans vote count for the Heisman Trophy? Or do fans not know ball? All right, y'all contemplate that answer. Y'all get your comments in. We'll hit this little break, and we'll be right back. And we are coming back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for hanging tight with us there. Listen, I just wanted to reset. Madcraft, you're the man. Brian, Mark, Rowdy Rooster, every guest I've ever had. Wifey, Uncle Poops, everybody, just everybody. Y'all all awesome. I love you all. Y'all be blessed, not stressed, and be kind to one another, dang it. Here on Southern Fried Sports of GreenvilleSportsMedia.com. All right, so last conversation of the evening. Rowdy Rooster, I learned several things yesterday about NFL football. Number one is I hate playing you in fantasy football. I don't know what it is. I'm the number 1 seed. He's the 4 seed. We talked about this weeks ago. I won't mention the LS. But here we are again, and I'm getting smoked as the number 1 seed in fantasy football. So 1, I learned that I hate fantasy football. 2, I learned that the Carolina Panthers should not have been favored over the Dallas Cowboys, period. End of discussion. That's ridiculous. We all knew that the Gamecock Rico Dowdle was going to go for his 3rd straight 100-yard rushing game. I called it earlier in the week. If I had the ability to bet and if I had the money, I would have hit the over on the 81.5 that Rico Dowdle had. So the Panthers had no business being favored over the Cowboys. 3rd, when can the QB fight stop? We just saw Josh Allen last week become the first quarterback to lose a game going for 342 passing yards, 81 rush yards, and 6 total touchdowns to lose. Only to turn around and do the same thing to Jared Goff a week later. The first quarterback ever to pass for 494 yards and 5 touchdowns and lose. The NFL is trying to outdo the college football drama. And for once, I'm here for it. I used to hate the NFL, but they are giving college football a run for their money with this nonsense.
They are. I love Josh Allen. I'm so glad I picked him.
Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen. Yeah, I know you do. Hey,
It's not
Lamar's
bad.
helped me
Hey,
out. Lamar's helped me out.
he had this. Hey, this is my first year ever doing fantasy football. I've never done it before, and it's been really, really, really fun. I kind of wish the league that we were in, there was a little bit more talking and back and forth. But it's almost like a few people just kind of quit. So
Yeah,
maybe next year I'll find a better league where more people are active, I guess. But
well, it'll be the Southern Fried Sports Fantasy Football League next year.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that I can assure you.
I'm down, yeah, for sure. Yeah, that'd be great. Go ahead and pencil me in there.
Well, I tell you what, if baseball didn't have 162 games, I would be in for MLB baseball, fantasy baseball. But bro, I can't pay it. I'm good enough at paying attention once a week. So
Yeah, that's too much.
The NFL has the perfect amount of games to be able to keep up with fantasy football.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I learned, man. I learned a couple things. I'm a Steelers fan, but I learned that Philadelphia can actually throw the football when they need to. Jalen Hurts is still pretty good.
Only after the wide receiver calls out his quarterback for being bad at passing.
Oh, well. They got what he wanted. He woke up the demon, I guess.
It was so hard not to start A.J. Brown. I wanted to start him. If I could have started him as a running back, I would.
Yeah.
I have a need for running back, but I mean, I've got 4 deep on the wide receiver, and A.J. Brown, he hadn't done it this year, and so I was like, nope, I don't care if you called out Jalen Hurts or not. Either they're going to throw you the ball a lot, or they're not going to throw you the ball at all. So I wasn't ready to risk it for the playoffs, but it turned out it didn't matter anyway.
I tell you what, I'm tired of. I'm tired of announcers always talking about how a quarterback, he's dealing with this injury, he's dealing with that injury. You know what I mean? Hey, I see you, Mark. I'm watching you. But I'm tired of hearing about, hey, quarterbacks dealing with this injury and that injury. That might be why they're not playing so well. Well, here's a news flash for you. Offensive linemen and defensive linemen and linebackers play with injuries every game. And they're not getting they're not there whining about it. I get tired of that. I just, the last game I was watching, what game was it? I can't remember. It was one of the games this past Sunday, and they were like, "Oh, quarterback's been hurt. He's been hurt for a few weeks. He's still fighting through it, and that's why he's not so accurate right now." And I'm like, well, I mean, he could have sat on the bench. Just stop making excuses. A lot of people play hurt. It's a long season. It's a rough game. Let's see. I learned that not to harp on Buffalo, but man, Buffalo's offense is legit. And I'm gonna tell you now, though, their defense is going to get them in trouble in the playoffs if they don't wake up.
Considered by the fact that Detroit, 48-42. I mean, Dan Campbell, a lot of people question him going for the onside 12 minutes to go or whatever. I mean,
look at their previous game. Their previous game, they got scored 40 points on. So it's kind of like, okay, I mean, your defense got to show up. I mean, you can't just you can win a lot of games outscoring people, but that adage of when defense wins championships, that's what that's for.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. One, Mike Tomlin. Granted, for what he's not been able to do in the playoffs, I trust him. You've got the Packers, the Seahawks. We even got, who do we have playing right now? The Vikings and the Bears. And who's the other team playing right now?
Atlanta and
Atlanta and Las Vegas. Man, if Atlanta can't win this game, they need to go and get on out of here.
Well, it's 9-3 right now.
The Mad Crafter, he says, "Homie, I tried trading with you. I'm sure at least."
What's his name? What's your name? What's his name on there?
Riley Reed option. The Riley Reed.
He probably did.
Uh,
He's one of
that
the
is
ones who would.
that's a good football punt. I'll be honest with
He
you. That's a good one.
he's one of the ones who is active. I'm talking about. There's 3 or 4 on there that just don't do anything.
Yeah.
They're not even.
Well,
They
right.
ain't talk.
We messed up probably with letting Cole do this. I tried to tell Cole to let me manage it or whatever. And then, of course, we got Mark, Boo Steelers, fly, Eagles fly.
Ooh.
He's down with the fantasy at work, 11-1. And right now, down 155 to 108. Hey, at least I'm not down that bad. Okay, Brian? Okay. I feel a little bit better, bro. Appreciate you. I'll stop giving Rowdy so much of a hard time. Mad Crafter, hey, how crazy was the parade of celebrities that came to support Hunter and in front of his face admitted he didn't know who Wayne was? That's blasphemy. First of all, if I'm taking a shower, I'm listening to some Lil Wayne.
No.
Shut up, man. Get out of here.
I'm listening. I'm listening to ballads. I'm singing my heart out. Oh yeah,
I
Michael
listen
Bolton.
to all kind of stuff. Michael Bolton. Well, I'll tell
What
you
you
what.
should do though is you should listen to Southern Fried Sports in the shower. That's what you should do.
Absolutely. That's a fantastic idea. Fortunately, I've usually already listened to myself over before that happens. But yeah, for all of you listening, Madcraft, like I said, thank you for being here. Brian, man, you guys are funny. Y'all are tickling my funny bone. Here's one other thing I forgot about the NFL from yesterday, though, before we get out of here, Rowdy. And then we're going to end it on something good. We'll figure something out. The Saints had no business starting Haener over Spencer Rattler.
Right.
He already started games. And then he almost led y'all back except for a failed 2-point conversion.
Put some respect on his name.
Man, yeah, no wonder old boy clogged up the toilet before his first game. The new head coach of the Saints. Did y'all see that? He came out. He said his first time going to the potty in the coach's restroom. He clogged it up. Well, now we know why. Because you started Haener over Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, he's full of something.
Yeah, full of something. For sure. Man, I'm telling you what. This has been fun, though, Rowdy. You got anything else you want? Anything else you need? Do you have any sports takes to get off your chest before we get out of here? How about that?
No, I don't, man. Except go Gamecocks.
No. I want to hear it. Yeah, give me the Gamecocks in Illinois. Give me Notre Dame, Indiana. Give me Ohio State, Tennessee. Before we get out of here.
Okay, you had to go one by one. We'll go. So Illinois, Carolina. It's going to be interesting to see how Justin Stepp fares against Clayton White's defense or Torian Gray's defensive backs. That's going to be a interesting. Bielema, he's won basically everywhere he's went, so he's a really good coach. I think South Carolina is going to win the line of scrimmage. I think Lenore Sellers is going to go off. I do worry about our defensive backs just a little bit because they do have some decent wide receivers. They got a pretty good quarterback too. He can sling it when he wants to. So I'm gonna have to say I'm gonna say 34-17 Carolina. That's my final for that one.
Yeah, I'm somewhere probably close to that. Yeah, 30, 31.
They haven't seen a pass rush like we have all year, so that's going to be another thing. What was the other game? You want a minute?
The other game, let's see here. What did we do? What did I do? We did Carolina, Illinois. Oh, gosh, I don't even remember now.
Tennessee and somebody.
Oh, yeah, Tennessee, Ohio State, and Notre Dame, Indiana. That was it. Yeah, you're right.
I think Tennessee's going to beat Ohio State. A lot of people's
Madcraft says he wants me to open up the Madcraft. I ain't got no phone line, man. I ain't that fancy, bro. You call me on my phone. I don't know if they'll be able to hear you or not. I don't know how that would work. But
just put your picks in the comments. Just put your picks in the comments.
Just go ahead, hit Madcraft. Yeah, give me your 3 biggest either playoff or bowl games. I don't care. Whether it be Clemson, Texas, whether it be Notre Dame, Indiana, Penn State, SMU, whatever it is, Matt Kraft, hit me with your 3 biggest picks. And so I went Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech. No, I'm lying. Virginia Tech, Minnesota, Georgia Tech, Vandy. That was the 2 that I picked.
I think Georgia Tech wins that game. They're running, man. They can run the ball, dude. They can run the freaking ball. I love their head coach. He's so cool. And he is. I love hard nosed, physical, aggressive, old school coaches. But I like those coaches with a little bit of flair to them. You know, they don't mind throwing the ball. But
yeah, well, I mean, hey,
Tulane over Florida.
Yeah, he's got Tulane.
No, not happening. Nope. Not happening. Florida's too strong in the trenches. It ain't happening. Not the way they're playing right now. They're one of the hotter teams in the country.
Florida too.
That's what I'm saying. Florida over Tulane.
Oh, and here we go. Here's this next one. That was the next one you're going to get to, Rowdy, and then we're going to get on out of here after that. But
all right, Riley Reed option, the Mad Crafter. The Mad Crafter Riley Reed option. I will bet you one daddy that Tennessee is going to beat Ohio State. Which a daddy, if you don't know what that is, it means if I say who's the handsomest man in the world, you got to say daddy or whatever I say.
Hey, only one time, Matt Kraft. He only wanted to bet you one.
We'll go 3. We'll go 3. 3 sounds better. You got to give me 3 daddies.
All right. 3. I'll throw in 2 on top of that for a total of 5. And then here's his next one. He's the ACC man. He's a Miami Hurricane fan, if you didn't know. Mad Crafter. Tigers, 27-17 over Texas.
Hear me out. I think Texas is going to win 17-14.
Hey, that's the only amount of gas I've gotten over the last few weeks, by the way. Congratulatory to the Gamecocks beating Clemson. Yeah, man, $17.14. I've spent it at the gas station, at the grocery store. Man, anywhere I go. 17-14. I've been telling them to even round it up. I don't care. Yep. They won't round it down. I've been trying to get them to round it down. They won't round it down, though.
Yeah, I throw away some money.
I'm like, hey, man, it's $26. You know, round it down.
I throw away some of my dishes so I'd have 17 cups and 14 plates. Yeah.
Well, I threw away some Tupperware, so I would have 17 containers and only 4 lids.
Yeah. I got 17.
Oh my God. I'm so Oh, man, this has been a fantastic episode of Southern Fried Sports. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, yeah, Brian, of course. Go Ducks.
I forgot Oregon was even in there.
Listen, we've got everybody covered, though, in here. I've got Clemson fans. We got Gamecock fans. We've got Oregon Duck fans. We have Penn State Nittany Lions, Mark, of course. We've got Gamecock Chuck. We've got Madcraft, the Miami Hurricane. I mean, we've got so many different fandoms in here, and that was my initial goal with Southern Fried Sports, y'all, was to unify the fans and give us all something to just come together, talk about, have a good time. You know, if this needs to be your release for the week, that's what we're here for. Y'all can talk to me about anything. You can hit up Rowdy Rooster at Joshua W0524 on X. Also, Joshua Williams, or is it just Josh on Facebook?
Man, I don't remember. Honestly, I've been either one of them.
But either way, y'all hit him up. Y'all can hit him up on X. I know Madcraft, Brian, all you guys, Mark, y'all all got X. Yep, here goes Mark. Yep. See, man, we've got Penn State fans. We've got the Southern Buckeye, Eric O'Brien, who's been on the show with me before. We've got
you can call me if you want to at 864-505-1714.
Oh my goodness! Now we're gonna get flagged. We're gonna get flagged. You just got us. No, we'll see.
Golly.
No, since you said it, it might be all right. But hey, either way, guys, y'all can reach out to me. You know where to find me. You can comment on this episode, whatever it may be. If there's anything you ever need, we're here for you. I know Rowdy Rooster's got some family went through stuff. We all go through stuff. We're all here for one another. I'm here to unify the people. And as for myself, here, JD Wyatt, the Southern Fried Gentleman at Southern Fried Sports, also of GreenvilleSportsMedia.com. Shout out to Rowdy Rooster for joining me this evening, y'all. Give this man a hand clap. That was some
Thank you for having
intriguing,
me.
very entertaining stuff,
Hey,
bro.
if I got us banned or whatever, my bad. It's a fake number, by the way.
Okay, well, hey, what's the one Mike Jones used to say? How about that one? Let me get the Mike Jones for it.
864-330-8004.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go.
If you didn't catch it, it was 1714 was the last four digits. That's why.
Okay. Yeah. Either way, we've been joking and having a good time. So yeah,
Go
that one.
Mustangs. Wait. Who's the Mustangs? Wait, who's that? Hold on.
Well, a lot of people got them confused with ponies, apparently.
No,
But
yeah,
they're
no, that's
totally like
SMU, right? Yeah,
yeah,
SMU's
SMU,
Mustangs.
yeah, and Penn State.
That's right.
Yeah. So we got Penn State right here. Mark, go Penn
Okay.
State, and then
I'm okay with it.
we've got Gamecock Chuck following up saying go Mustangs.
There you go. I mean, anything's
I
better
would
than a
be
teddy bear
fine.
paw.
You want to know why I would be okay with SMU winning? Before we get out of here, that's why I would be okay with SMU winning, is because they're not taking any money from the ACC this year to be a part of their conference.
Huh. You know what I don't like that nobody's talking about is the fact that Notre Dame just happened to get in there. Didn't have to play a championship game. That's horse crap.
Oh yeah,
It's
no,
horse crap.
yeah. Notre Dame definitely needs to join the conference. I think that everybody would agree with that. Absolutely. And then we've got the Mad Crafter, of course, giving his round of applause, and then this one right here, Rowdy Rooster. You ready for this one? I done texted 4 numbers. I'm so done. I'm so done. Gamecock Chuck, SMU, Mark, SMU. They were just answering questions. And then, of course, all right, to end it on this one, Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois, y'all. All right. My goodness.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
I honestly, I do not think that Notre Dame, Indiana, Penn State, or Notre Dame, Indiana, Penn State, or SMU, or Boise State, even for that matter, I don't think that any one of those 5 schools beat anybody worth a darn to determine them eligible to get into the playoffs. I really don't.
Yeah.
They're getting some easy matchups because there's other teams in the playoffs that don't belong there. And so that will be another discussion for another day. So shout out again, though, GreenvilleSportsMedia.com. Rowdy Rooster for joining me. Madcraft Brian. Chuck, let's see. Did anybody else say anything funny real quick?
Real quick, JD, though, before you hop off.
Yeah.
You asked us a question before you went on that break. Should the fan vote count for Heisman? And yes, it should. Yes, it should absolutely count for Heisman. I mean, think about it. We vote for the president of the United States. Why can't we vote for a freaking Heisman football player?
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, the 2 choices were, where should our choice count, or do we not know ball? And that was the first thing that I tweeted back to Madcraft as soon as that happened. I said, hey, I'll tell you what, none of us are willing to admit that we don't know ball. We all know ball. You wouldn't be listening to Southern Fried Sports if you didn't know ball. Some of the greatest conversation ever. Y'all know who you messing with. GreenvilleSportsMedia.com, Arden's Burger and Grill. Listen, Pepsi Cola. Don't forget W Energy Drinks. Don't forget Rowdy Rooster. Y'all go follow him. We got plenty more sports takes coming. We got plenty more Southern Fried Sports coming. We got new intro videos coming. We got more comments, more fans. Thank y'all for being here. We out. Y'all be blessed, not stressed. And what you say, Rowdy?
Some gravy on it.